Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. Yeah, it's really nice that all of you taking the time today for our webinar about collaboration. You see today I am not alone. I have here one of our, I would say, a partner, who is also wanted to take the chance to talk to you about collaboration. It's Maximilian Knaus from a patent law firm in Germany. He's a German and European patent attorney. We will introduce ourselves, that you get an insight who we are. Now at the beginning, we give some other participants the time to join. But as I mentioned, thank you for coming today. I already will share my screen that you can see the topic for today. You see our names. And then we will just wait 2-3 more minutes that everybody can join.
Thanks for joining. Also, and get the acquaintance somehow anonymously, but still happy that you're here and want to cope with this topic, which to our understanding is quite huge and very important for you as IP manager or attorney or user of the IP system, let's say it like this.
Yeah, and also that you just know, in the background we have Claire from my team. She will take care of your questions. She will follow up in the background. So therefore, already now, if you have some questions, always feel free to reach out to us. At the end, we will have time to go through all the questions. This webinar is scheduled for 30 minutes. Max and myself, we will try to finalize everything in 30 minutes. But we have enough time after this also to make it a bit longer, to go through all the questions and to follow up then. For the people who are not knowing me, I'm Fabian. I'm part of the team of IamIP, of the custom success team. What I'm doing is I'm handling our customers at IamIP. I'm helping to implement our software. I'm frequently have meetings with the customers and get all the feedback, and I supporting them. And today here, as I mentioned before, for the people who just come in, we have today Maximilian here. He's a German and European patent attorney. He's working for WSL Patentanwälte, and he will give you some more insights later about who he is and his background. You always see in his background and his picture, it looks like a bit like chemistry.
So what you see is what you get here.
But again, really nice to see so many participants today. I think we will start in 1-2 minutes with our talk. As I mentioned, this webinar is about, we have 30 minutes prepared, a few slides about the topic collaboration today, and we will have a few more minutes if you have the time for your questions and to have a nice discussion at the end. But then from here, to really take the time, I would like to start for today. As I mentioned, the topic for today is collaboration. We call it maximize your success with collaboration. What I have seen is that here a lot of people who managing IP. We have some R&D persons, some engineers, some scientists. And today it's really, we would like to give you more insight why it's important also that you do some collaboration in your company and in the field of IP. But therefore, welcome to everybody. And I would like to start with the first slides. Today, we have different topics that we would like to raise. We will just give you a short introduction who we are, as I mentioned, Maximilian, it's really nice that you're joining today, that you give some insight as a patent attorney into this topic. I would like to start with some motivation, to show you from another field why or collaboration is really important. Then we will focus a bit more on the topic IP, and we would like to give you some outlook for this. So just to start, who I am, maybe before this, just one point. We have here a chat function in the tool. So whenever you have any questions, you would like to comment something, please use this chat function. You see it here on the left side, this quadruple panel. So whenever there's anything, you need more insights, any questions, always feel free to reach out to us. We will take your questions and answer it at the end. So therefore, from here, who I am. yeah, I have started my career, yeah, after the school as to study physics. I made my bachelor that was a bit more about solid state physics. After this bachelor, I have done my master thesis. I had the opportunity to go to the German Aerospace Center. There I focused a bit more on the topic climatic physics, atmospheric physics. And then, yeah, as maybe many people of you, I jumped into this field of patents. I worked for like 3 years in a patent law firm in Germany. What I have done is a lot of searches, monitorings, also everything in the part of prosecution. But then after 3 years, I feel really, I missed something, where it's more like what I like, what is my vision. And then I found IamIP, and in IamIP now I over 2 years, and what I'm doing is really helping, supporting in the field of IP. My vision is to digitalize the field of IP, and therefore, what I'm doing, what is my daily job, is really supporting our clients, our customers, showing my vision and showing why our tool like IamIP can really help the people in their daily work. From here, Maximilian, I would like to give you the chance to introduce yourself and give some insights.
Yeah, as you have seen before, from heart, I'm a chemist, and I studied chemistry at Heidelberg, University of Heidelberg, and Technical University in Munich. And during my PhD and before, I was focused on new materials, polymer science. So this is like what I like the most. And then I turned, because I made some inventions on my own, and I learned how this patent attorney trainee course is made, and like the patent field was very interesting to me. So I started the patent attorney trainee course here at WSL Patentanwälte, and I somehow made it to the end. And I'm patent attorney since 4 years now, and actually most of the time I'm really working in my field I've done before. So my technical expertise is related or mostly related to technical chemistry and macromolecular science. This is what I'm doing at the moment, mostly.
Yeah, thank you, Maximilian. From here, we would like to start now with the motivation. Yeah, Max and myself, we really think that collaboration is a must-have in IP. Yeah, and we would like to start to show you why, or in other fields, why collaboration is also really important. Yeah, and maybe just to my person, I played football in my career, I played rugby, I played lacrosse, and in this field of rugby, I have the feeling this is a sport where team spirit is the most important thing. Yeah, and for me, this game, team spirit is when, it's really crucial to win games. And I just wanted to give you a short insight about rugby. Yeah, I'm curious, maybe at the beginning, who of you have ever seen a rugby game? So maybe you can comment. Yeah, maybe you can use the chat function just to tell us if you have ever seen a game. If not, I can tell you, go to an Irish pub, take a Guinness, and check this wonderful game. But just to give you the insight, why is team spirit here really important? You see the red team, I think this is Wales. There's one guy in the offense. He has the ball, and they would like to make a try. Yeah, it's called to go over this white line. And you see the yellow one, this is Australia, and they are staying like a wall. And here you see really, this is really where you win the games. If this wall stays, the red one, they don't have the chance to go through this wall. And this is where I played rugby, but I have the feeling, here teamwork makes dreams work. And this is where I come from. This is my history. I played a lot of games like football, lacrosse, rugby, and from here, we would like to start. I said our theory is that collaboration IP is also a must-have. And I would like to give now the words to Maximilian, who will give you some more facts about patents, IP, and where we came or started with the theory that collaboration is important. So Max, back to you.
Yeah, maybe to get you on board for why we are doing this, the motivation, at least from our side, like private practice, what we see is actually things are getting more complex all the time. This has different reasons. I guess from the big picture, let's see it like this. We got macro factors which are influencing the the patent landscape and IP landscape in general. I think the first one would be ecological transformation, which is of course nowadays very important. You can see that there's a change in technology, of course, induced by these ecological transformation we have in forefront somehow. So you can see it, for example, in the CCMT inventions, that means climate change mitigation technology, which is applied for at the EPO. So this is an important macro factor, the first one. The second one is digital transformation, which is of course very important for us nowadays. You can see this somehow the same way with the EPO application numbers we have steadily increasing, and we see there, of course, too, an US tech dominance of the big US tech companies. Then on the other hand, we have somehow the Asian competition, which is tightening, and we can see that China, for example, is increasing its application numbers as well at the EPO. So very important inventions, innovations, which are handled in Europe as well. So also for this, we see a change in the field somehow. And last but not least, venture capital. And we have seen the last years, of course, maybe this changes at the moment somehow, but the system gets a lot of money from venture capital, and of course this ends up in IP as well. And getting from these macro factors to the IP landscape as well, we see different trends there too, which some are influenced by the macro factors we have seen before. One which is somehow not directly related to this field, but what we see is an increasing amount of front-loaded litigation systems. What we can see, for example, is a very tight time limit regime at the Board of Appeal cases. What we see too is unitary patent, which is coming, which has a very, very tight time limit and very short time limits as well. So this will be a very tough and demanding system in the end, I guess. What we see as well is the patent fluting, let's say it like this, in particular from the Asian competitors. So we got over 1 million applications from China, so it's hard to handle them. Maybe we need to work on our patent monitoring and get people involved, which are not yet involved by the IP department. And private equity, we discussed this before, they have a focus on this topic as well. So they're increasing numbers of application. And maybe the next slide Fabian has, there we got strategic patents as well. What we see with patent trolls, for example, we also see this for young startups. They're making strategic and maybe very complex applications. And in the end, all this together brings us to increasing complexity, which may not be handled anymore by the IP department or the research department only, but we need additional players which may be helpful for you and can take over tasks from you.
Yeah. Then from here, I hope now you see there's so many things going up. Yeah, there's so many things where you think, if I would be an IP manager, I would say, oh my God, how can I handle all of this? And here we come now to the point, yeah, where Maximilian also mentioned, you need some more colleagues that will help you in this process. And just to start here, I have a list of few of these tasks that you as IP manager, as an R&D manager, that you have. I mean, on one side, we have so many engineers. They are really, yeah, inventive or innovative, I would like to say, yeah, and they filing a lot of ideas. And in this case, what you need to do is, of course, a prior art search to check is this really something that where we can file a patent or not. Yeah. On the other side, if you're somewhere in the development, yeah, you're in the product phase, you need also to make a freedom to operate, yeah, to be clear or sure that you can really produce your ideas. Then, of course, you need to track what your competitors doing, what is happening on the technology market. You need to check where are the trends in the world. And then on the other side, you have your own patents. Yeah, so you need to handle or manage all your own patent documents. Yeah, and also here you need to create your own documents. So this one on the one side, yeah, of course, you have all these competitor watches. You need to check what others doing. On the other side, you need to yeah, create your own portfolio. You need to manage your portfolio. And then if you're creating your own portfolio, you have some prosecutions, you have the due diligence in this case. Yeah, so you as an IP manager, you have so many things to do. And then, yeah, what I get, yeah, from a lot of customers is you don't have the time to do it. Yeah, so where are the problems? The time is always a problem. The workload is of course always really high. Yeah, so this is also a problem. Yeah, and then the question is, I mean, you have seen Maximilian is a chemist. Yeah, I'm a scientist. I have studied physics. And in this case, we have different, yeah, a different background, and everybody who has a different background has some own, you know, force, yeah, to go in his part. Yeah, so this means you as a team, you have different backgrounds in the team, and then of course the resources. Yeah, I mean, if you have many people, yeah, and you as an IP manager just alone, you don't have this resources. So this is always, yeah, the thing that I get from my customers. Where are the problems? And today we would like to give you some insight of how you can solve these problems. For the time and workflow, when I talk to people, they always said me, maybe they, even if they just one lone wolf in the team, they don't have really a workflow of how they're working. Yeah, so I believe at the beginning, you really need to think and define a workflow for you and your team. Then one point, yeah, since we have different backgrounds, we have different resources in the team, I think it's really important to split the work to different persons, to different departments. I believe, yeah, what I heard from some people, if they're doing a monitor, they're doing that quarterly, maybe every month. I believe it could be helpful if you're working in smaller intervals, that you really can, yeah, focus maybe less time, yeah, per week, and then at the end you will have more time. As I mentioned also, if you have different resources, different backgrounds, maybe it's correctly better to focusing on the right things for you as a team. And then one most important point, and why we are here, yeah, is the collaboration part. I think it's really important that you involve other experts, yeah, to get their opinion, that you can really delegate tasks to your team. And then, yeah, of course, I'm from IamIP, I'm from a tool, but I believe really it will help you to save time if you use the tool. Yeah, this means I can give you an example from my life. 20 years I used an Android phone. Yeah, now 2 weeks ago I got an iPhone, and this was really it's changed my mind. It was really mind-blowing that I really can save more time. Yeah, and this is the same. Of course, you can work with Outlook. You can write a lot of emails. Yeah, you can use Excel for everything. But at the other, if you're just thinking about it, you spend so much time on things that could be easier, and the tool can always help you to save time. Yeah, to have a better, you can better work and have a less workload. Yeah, just for the background, as I mentioned, yeah, if you split work, it could be really helpful to take the engineers in the process. You will have a legal department. Maybe you have an external patent attorney who can really focus on the cases where it's a bit more legal related. And then on the other side, it could be really helpful also from the economic side to invite people in this process. From here, just to start and go a bit deeper in this topic, yeah, you see here, for me, the IP manager, he is really centralized. He is in the middle of everything. He's the connection to the management. He's the connection to the patent attorney. Maybe some of you have it in-house, the patent attorney. I working also with a lot of customers that have it externally, who works in a patent law firm, as Maximilian is doing it. Then you are the connection to the engineers who have the ideas. And then you see there are more different other people. It could be the product management, it could be the marketing. Yeah, so you are centralized, and then you have your arms to all the other people. And then, yeah, the question is always, who should be involved in the whole process of IP management? Yeah, of course, you're the IP manager, maybe you also call patent engineer. Yeah, as I mentioned, you're in the middle, and then I believe it's really important to take the engineers in your process. Yeah, at some point you need to talk to your management to say what has happened on the market. You have the connection to the product manager, the market, as I mentioned, also really important, the patent attorney. Then the question is, if you have a monitoring, if you're doing a prior art search, who is the person who doing it? Of course, yeah, in a lot of cases, you are the person who needs to do everything. But I believe the engineer, he's the person, he has a technical background, he's the technical expert, what is happening in the R&D, what is happening in your manufacturing, in your products. Yeah, so this person, I believe, could be also somebody who can take a bit more task in this field of doing a prior art search, checking really on a weekly basis what new documents coming in. And the same is also for the product management, or maybe also the market researcher. He's somebody, he checks what is on the market, what is the competitor doing. So why I believe he's also a person who really can be part of it. Then the question is, yeah, if you're doing this monitoring, the search, who is then the person who really checks what is happening there? So what will be done then with this document? I believe it's really important, if you see something, to categorize the document, to write a short comment. Then I think really important point is, if you have documents, store this in an archive, create an archive, because for the future you will really learn a lot with this information that you have. Yeah, it's really nice to share this information with another colleague, that everybody in your company knows what is happening. Yeah, because then, yeah, as you know, more innovative you will be as a company. Yeah, I also believe that if you see some urgent cases, reach out to your patent attorney. Yeah, he can help you in all the legal parts of the patents. And then, yeah, if you see something that is relevant, of course, I believe you also need to monitor and get it more information about this document. And then, yeah, then it's not end. If you have a relevant document, if you have categorized it, I believe then still the process is to take the document, archive it, and create your knowledge database, because, yeah, this will make your company innovative. And on the other side, in the field of collaboration, it will help you for the next prior art search. It will help you for the next discussion about freedom to operate. Yeah, so if you have a nice archive, if you have everything really categorized, then I believe at the end you will save time, and you as a collaborated team, it will make you more innovative and better. I would like to show you one example. I would like to take the case of a monitoring. In this case, I believe you will work with a database. I don't know with the IamIP platform, but you will have a tool where you get every week the news documents. Then, you will get a folder where you store all the relevant documents that comes in on a weekly basis. And here for me, it's the first point. I heard from some people that don't have automated this process. I believe, you need a tool that really automates it. Otherwise, you need to do this manually, and this will again take time. Then the question is, if you have this monitoring where you get on a weekly basis or a monthly basis your documents, then you need a person who checks this. And from my side, there are two options. It's you as an IP manager who will check what is behind this monitoring, or what I have seen a lot of time, that it's maybe better that the engineers, the people who are the technical expert, they taking care of what is coming on a weekly basis new in this database. Then they can categorize, check this document, sort it, what is relevant, what is not relevant, and then if they need feedback, they involve the colleagues. And here it's possible, on one side, if you believe it's something really urgent, I would delegate it more to the patent attorney. Then we have another part. If the IP manager takes care of this monitoring, then I believe then at this point he can reach out to the engineers and get the feedback. On the other side, if the engineers, they are the technical expert and they checking on a weekly basis what comes in, I believe then the IP manager is the next address to get the feedback. What should we do with this document? Is it really IP? What do you say from the IP side? I'm as a technical person, I know this is something that is really interesting for us. And then you see the astronaut, he's the person for me who could be product management, marketing. Also at this stage, if you need like just to asking the market researcher, do you think, do you have seen that this is now on the market also going on, or do they do something really special? I think here also the collaboration could be really nice to share information and get the feedback of the colleagues. And then, the nice thing is you will check maybe on a weekly basis what comes in. You make a short categorization, which technology field, which product group. You just write a short comment. This is about this and this, to make it really easy to understand for everybody in the company. And then it could be really nice to have one archive. You store your documents, you create a folder system, and then the nice thing is sharing this with the company, because then everybody knows what is happening, what has found by your competitors, everybody can know what is happening in your technology field. And here is also my feedback: make it easy to understand for your colleagues what is behind a patent document. Everybody who is working in the field of patents know that this topic is something special, how the patent attorney is writing patent documents. They're knowing at best how to make it really broad, to really make it a great patent document. But you can use some comments to make it easy for the colleagues to understand what is behind this document. From here, just to summarize it, you will have the IP manager who can send to ask for the technical feedback to the engineers, to the market and product group. On the other side, if an engineer checking documents, they can send relevant documents to the IP responsible person to get the feedback. And the IP manager, mostly, he's talking to the patent attorney when it's something more urgent. From here, again, we have the IP manager centralized. And just to show you a bit the way, we have the first point I believe is important: educate your colleagues that they knowing a tool, that they can working in a tool. The second part, try to optimize your processes. This will help you to make your process better, and more easy to use. Check the new hits regularly. As I mentioned, you can do it, of course, quarterly, but then you will spend a lot of time at the end. Maybe it's better to make smaller intervals. Involve the colleagues for this part. Review the document, writing some comments, and then involve your patent attorney for documents that are a bit more urgent, or where it's really relevant to take really an IP somebody with the IP background, archive the information and share the information. And this is my part. Also, just to summarize this, I have a nice picture. So you see, you're the guy, the IP manager, to writing, and then you have your children that you educate. This is the engineers. So you can really help them, and who's involved in this process. And this is now where Maximilian will tell you a bit more how you can really involve other person and why you should do it. And how you can do it. Take a tool, educate the team, share information, and create your knowledge database. And my last point is, before I give the words to Maximilian, make it easy to use for everybody in the company. But from here, I would like to give the words to you, Maximilian, and we have our last point for today, the collaboration outlook.
Thanks, Fabian. I think there are very good points with the monitoring process, and it's a good representation how it can be done with all your team. But let's go a bit beyond, because this is something, at least for me, which is very important. I think IP work as an attorney or scientist or IP manager in-house is more than simple prosecution and litigation processes, because what we have do additionally, sorry, that's the bad news somehow, I think we have to get all the people in the company on board. And maybe we have some unusual persons here, individuals from the company you haven't expected so far, but I think it would be great to get them on board, just to change their view on IP. Because in the end, for me, I think IP should not be only prosecution and litigation, what you may do perfectly in your in-house, but still we need some appreciation for IP and what IP can really do. And so we have to make it more active, show the people how they can use these rights, which are very can have a high impact. For example, as we can see with the patent trolls, I wouldn't say that that's a good development, but in the end it shows how effective IP can be, and this is what we should, let's say, teach other persons as well. So let's get the different members here of your team on board. Let's start. Maybe that's somehow this a different analogy Fabian has said. I'm more into soccer, so sorry, I stick to soccer here now. I see the IP manager as central defense, let's say like this. The ball distributor is 6 nowadays, someone would say in soccer, and he's distributing the balls, crossing or passing the ball to someone else. So my first point or first crossing would be to the engineers and the scientists. Maybe this is the simplest and easiest one we have already discussed. For getting them into this field needs a good education. They should be knowledgeable about IP, how to read a patent, how they can, how to interpret what is written there, and then of course they can take over some of the functions. For example, the patent monitoring, in my opinion. And of course, what else has the IP manager do? Somehow get the research coordination, because the research coordination is about getting the research in an area which is fruitful for IP as well. So this is somehow the task of an IP manager, from the information he has from the different individuals from the company, getting them collected and bring them to the engineers and scientists so that they can then later on pass back and give you a great innovation based on what is fruitful in respect to IP. So the next one would be controlling. Maybe this is rather unusual, I would say, but what we see often in private practice is that accounting and controlling is not involved in IP at all. So in certain circumstances, for example, M&A processes, only accountants are included, and this can be bad in the end, because an evaluation how much IP is worth in the end, it needs to be technically analyzed too, and therefore IP manager should also have a contact somehow to controlling department, because IP in the end is an asset. So this is important as well, to my understanding. The next one, maybe rather unusual too, is HR. From my point of view, what I see in a lot of companies, what I see in a lot of companies, employees or inventors remuneration is a great source for employers branding in the end. And nowadays it's quite difficult to get like the brightest minds on the market. So getting employer branding, this could as well be, for example, by means of marketing, like celebrating, let's say it like this, your inventors, could be a good means to get your employees bonded to your company. And let's go on to the marketing, because now we're getting more to, in the field of soccer, to do strikers. What we do need in the end is getting your competitors a goal. So what you pass to the marketing, and the marketing then can lead to corporate branding. And corporate branding in the end, for example, you can play it like this. Everybody nowadays is on LinkedIn. You can celebrate your applications. You can celebrate your patents. This is what we see with a lot of our clients. They're using LinkedIn as a communication channel for celebrating their patents. This leads to a branding of the company itself. And of course, because everybody like sales is on LinkedIn now, they realize, okay, this company is very innovative, and maybe we should be very prudent if we go on the market, because they have a lot of rights. So the monopoly right you have from the patent in the end can be used psychologically, I would say, on LinkedIn too, because this is in the end one of the effects the patent has. It prevents others from doing your business. And maybe if you just do it just before a litigation case and just drop it on the market, people may be more reluctant to go on the market as well. The second thing we have about marketing is knowledgeable about what the market needs. In the end, why is a product successful or not? This is what marketing knows, and they know the trends. And this can be very important for you as IP manager. And in the end, as engineer, you have to pass to the engineer then, because with this knowledge, they can focus on the effects this product have, and you can just amend your application exactly to this specific effect and try to protect this USP, let's keep it like this, on the effect better than you don't have this knowledge. So this connection from marketing IP to engineers is very important to my understanding. And then last but not least, which is one of the best strikers, I would say, is sales. Because sales, of course, has an API interface position somehow in your company, because it's very close to the market. Therefore, of course, it knows what products are on the market. And actually, if sales knows which kind of patents you have, you can get this information to the IP manager and then maybe start litigation or doing amendments in your prosecution to get your patent tailor-made to what is on the market, then to get a perfect litigation. So this information is very important. But of course, sales need a lot of teaching then in the end, so that they know about your IP in a simple and perfect way. And maybe this is something you have to work on the archive Fabian has done or has told about before. So these information should not only be stored there simply, but they should be stored that people, users of the system, can perfectly use it. And maybe you have different recipients of this information, so amend the information to the specific recipient, for example, for sales. And of course, sales knows about the market success you have. Why is the product good or not? So a bit comparable to marketing, and they can give you precious information to the IP manager and in the end to the research and development to make this research coordination. And very last but not least, negotiation in bidding processes. Normally what we see, this can be really a joker. If you have your patents sorted perfectly and the sales knows what kind of patents you have, this can be a joker in this bidding process. If you can say, okay, do you know what the competitor has? Is he not infringing our patents? And then, like, the competitors have a huge disadvantage if your customer does not know if the competitor may infringe or not. So this could be very important in negotiation proceedings, and then this is really the effect IP has as a monopoly. So please use this, which is maybe the most important tool you have in your company. But I guess that's not all. That's just ideas we had so far. We would be happy if we could inspire you, and maybe you can reach out to us to get more ideas. I think this is something we have to work on as a whole in the IP sector to get IP more visible for all, and with this appreciation we have a good standing there in the companies, and this is something we should really work on beyond our normal daily work. So I would be happy to get feedback then, and so far so good. We would then go on to questions if there is any.
Yeah, thank you, Maximilian, for this outlook in collaboration. I think also in our discussions before this webinar, I also was surprised that you're talking about controlling, HR, sales. I mean, normally when I talk to a person, it's really related to R&D and to, of course, IP management. But I also believe I have the same thing, that I believe that it's really could be helpful for you as an IP manager and for the company to involve more persons and maybe the whole company. And this was some ideas from our side, just to check the questions that we had. I'm happy to see that we had a rugby rivalry from Italy here in the call. Yeah, really nice. I played in the Bavaria area, but this is really nice to see that there are some rugby people also in this webinar. We had one comment more about this digitalist way of collaboration communication. I agree also. It was a comment about on the other side, it's also really good to have meetings with the people, to have video meetings, to see and really have discussions about points. I really agree here. It's not only having a tool and doing everything in a tool. On the other side, it's just something that helps you more to get more connections, communications, and it's really helpful to also have these meetings. On our side, I can tell you at IamIP, we're also doing workshops. It's nice to see the colleagues. We have offices in Poland, in Sweden, here in Germany, and it's really nice to have workshops come together, changing having some discussions about ideas. So it's really good point. And I see one. Thank you. So also thank you. Now back to you. We have 2-3 more minutes. Just you can take the chance and ask some questions. On the other side, as Maximilian mentioned, just come to us. Just reach out in LinkedIn. And I think at the next slide, you see our email addresses. We are free to have some discussions, talks, and we are always open. I think this was really an insight from our side. It's my vision about IP, about collaboration in IP. And therefore, please come to us. And then at the end, I would like to say again, thank you for your attention. Thank you, Maximilian, for your time, for your support.
Thank you.
Also for the and therefore, I believe it's time to say have a nice time, be a bit better. Yeah, I would like to go to the sea, have some beach feelings, yeah, let's pray for good weather. Yeah, then again, yeah, thank you. Maximilian, some last words from your side.
Yeah, I'm happy. I would be really happy if it had inspired you somehow and we get some new ideas in this topic, because I think this is the feedback we get from clients. If we are doing workshops and getting other peoples in the companies involved in this area, they see that IP is not that dry and paper work as they expected. Maybe IP in this relation has some bad phase somehow. People think this is a boring work, but if they're involved in, they realize how important it is and what the impact is. And you see in successful companies that IP is actively played all over the whole company. So I think this is something for your company as well to think about, getting people involved in the whole IP process. And this will help you as a person, IP manager or researcher, to get your work better distributed. And I think this is fruitful for everyone in the company.
Yeah, thank you for the last words. Just one last point from my side. The next webinar will be about our new AI monitoring. Yeah, this is of course something that also could help you in your workflow, in your work, in your daily life. This webinar, we don't have scheduled it yet. We will just search a really good spot, a good date. But then again, have a really nice Easter time. Charge your batteries if you have some vacation. And then we are happy to see you again. Therefore, see you and have a nice day.
Bye-bye.